Yo, what's going on, guys? It is Not Reality, and in today's video, I wanted to go over the new news on the Land in the Morning Light. But before I get into that, I wanted to quickly go over what we know so far. So, Land in the Morning Light is a new expansion that is coming to BDO later in the year. It will be a new zone with a bunch of new bosses and a new story. Here are some pictures of what the area is going to look like. I think it is a really cool area, if I do say so myself. There's a bunch of video teasers. I will link these this website in the description in case you guys want to watch these videos yourself. The area will be taking over where Port Rat was, and then all of the Port Rat items that you might have or whatnot will, I think, move to Okila's Eye, if I am correct, but I could be mistaken on that. I can't really remember. Now, the new story will be a crazy long story, apparently, and it will have a bunch of cutscenes and voiced lines. So the localization is going to take a while, which is why it's going to be later in the year. Now we have two or three new races. We have the Horang, and then the turtle and the hare, similar to the otter and the Papu. I do really like this turtle. It is really cool. Next up, we have the boss rush. This is the new thing that they're adding that will be replacing traditional grinding in the new area. It will basically be 8 bosses, each having their own mechanics and levels and rewards. We'll talk about that when we get to the video more, but it's basically the gist of it, and you'll be able to do it solo or co-op. And we'll have new items. 2 of the new items here, there's a bunch more in the video, but 2 of the new items here are the Don's Gloves, which is the counterpart to the Fallen God and Libresca. And the Don's Gloves will be able to pick between damage reduction or evasion when you go to make it. Make sure you don't rush through it when that comes out, so you don't accidentally grab the wrong piece. I'm not sure if there's any sort of like exchange type thing. They haven't talked about that yet. There's also the Bong Wong's Tear, which is basically a legendary crystal that you only be able to have one of. I think they talk about how to get it in this video, but this is in Korean, and I haven't watched any English guides yet. So they might talk about how to get it, but I'm not sure. Obviously, we'll learn about that more when it actually comes out later in the year. But the new crystal you can see here has a bunch of effects, including XP and drop rate, which is pretty cool. Now to get into the video, I'm just gonna skim through this, so I can give you the gist of what I saw. So these are the portraits for the bosses. There's 8 of them in total. Some really cool visuals here. I do really like this fox and this like demon at the end here. I think that is really cool. We have the let me see if I can find it. I don't want to scroll too far. They have portraits, and then this right here is what I was looking for. They show you fighting them, and each boss, like I said, has a bunch of mechanics. As you can see, there's a bunch of conal mechanics there, and you're going to be in a little arena, so you can't run away too much. I don't know if they talked about any sort of crystal destruction or whatnot if you do die. I'm guessing you just get kicked out of the area and you can go back in and test it. This is the UI that they showed for the bosses. It looks like there's a reward for beating the boss. Bosses have type damage. And then also there's this thing that here says 2 out of 5. I'm not sure if this is 2 out of 5 tries or if this is level 2 out of 5. Someone will have to let us know in the comments if they do speak Korean or know themselves. And then there's also these card things down here. These also might be the levels. Like this might be level 1. That would make more sense because it does look like it gets progressively harder. So if I had to guess, these are the challenges here, and then these are the levels down here. Don't quote me on that though. Next up, we have the stat page. Now this is the new thing that they're going to be adding for the bosses. It's basically when you do the bosses, you get these points, and you can put the points into stats for each of the types. So when you fight that boss, you will do like more damage or take less damage. They said that this will be, they say it right about here, that this will be 80% of the damage. 80% of the damage will be coming from that stat page, and then 20% will be coming from your gear. So even if you are only like 600 gear score, you should still be able to do the bosses pretty easily, and it's just so everyone can actually do it when the expansion comes out, which is something that they've been working towards lately, is making sure everyone can do the new stuff, because it's really annoying when you're playing the game and you're like, oh, I can't do the new expansion because you need 700 gear score or whatnot. This right here is the leaderboards. They're going to have class specific leaderboards along with level specific leaderboards. So if you do level 8 of a boss and you're a berserker, you'll should see other people that are level 8 and doing berserker, and a berserker doing a certain boss. Next up, we are going to touch on the items. This is the new accessory that will be coming in the zone, and it does have its own effect. I think they said that the new effect will replace your V with a buff that gives you AP and a bunch of other like DP and a bunch of other like things that it basically replaces your escape with just more damage. Basically, how you're going to look at it. We will see. We'll have to see how this actually slots in because as you can see, it only has 17 AP. And if this is a belt, 17 AP isn't crazy. I think 17 AP for a pen belt would be about a Tet belt in like a Voltara or Basilisk, if I'm correct. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm correct. Next up, we have this flame here. If I can go to it, there we go. This is not the gear flame. This is basically the glazing sort of thing for the Deboreka necklace that you would, you know, craft. So this is the item that you would need to craft the Deboreka earrings, which they show right here. Now they are adding a set effect. So if you have all three Deboreka accessories equipped, you will be getting a set effect right here that I think gives like crit damage and AP or something like that. Not exactly sure. I'm pretty sure the bottom one is crit damage or accuracy, one or the other. Next up, they show the life skill crystals. Now, a bunch of life skillers have been asking for this, rightly so. They will now be adding life skill crystals that you can slot that give percentage based, stats, or they will also be giving mastery. Along with those, we have obviously the new crystal, which we talked about earlier. We have the, let's see if I can get to it. There we go. This is the flame that you need to craft the Don's gloves. Now you can see here there's a 300, 300, 300, and 300. This is the pity for the flame. So apparently each of the bosses have their own little like pity flame that they drop, kind of similar to, you know, like a Jade Starlight Forest or Tauros. And you will need 300 of each of the flames pities. So you'll need 300 of, I think there's 3 elements. So there's obviously the fire, the water, and the earth. So you'll need 300 of each of those pities, and then you'll need 300 crystallized despairs, which you get from Hex Sanctuary. Now, I'd recommend, it's probably already too late when I make this video, but crystallized despairs will probably be on order like 20,000, 50,000. If you can get any right now and then sell them later, if you don't really care about getting the gloves right off the bat, I'd recommend doing that because they're probably going to go up to like 60 mil a pop if my calculations are correct. I think they will be going up based off of what we saw with other things when this is released, like the Fallen God and the Libresca and all that. A bunch of items did go up in price a ton. Along with this, there will be a Caphras event when this does release. They did say that will be, you know, the free extraction. So Caphras will go down in price, hopefully. So, you know, if you're one of those people that want to Caphras your gear, but you don't really want to spend silver or 3 mil a pop, just save up your silver and wait for that event, and hopefully Caphras will go down in price. They do touch on the new manor that is coming for people that like housing, and there is another lodge manor which I can't seem to skip to in this video because they do show it only for a couple seconds. But there's another lodge type manor that you can get. This is the new boat. Apparently this is a very balanced boat. It isn't better than the best boat out right now, but it is a pretty decent boat. And I think that might be about it. Actually, later in the video, they do talk about life skilling stuff again. For all you life skillers, let me talk about that real quick. So they are adding mini games to life skilling, which I think is pretty cool. Similar to like Lost Ark mini games, where if you do, you know, land on the right item, you do get a ton of the item. Is basically just another incentive to do life skilling and give life skillers a bit more silver. Apparently this comes from the mini games. There's a super low percent chance that you do get this item that gives you a huge buff for 3 months. Yes, you heard me right, 3 months. So this item is apparently going to be insanely rare, and you can list it on the market, and apparently it's going to be insanely expensive. So, you know, if you're a life skiller and you might just want to get this so you can sell, I don't know how expensive it's going to be, but I do imagine it is going to be pretty expensive for those people that want to min-max their life skills. Along with that, there's going to be a bunch of new food items and whatnot. They talk about the crystals here. You can see the 5% stat increase. Along with the new workers that will have their own crafting items in the new region, which I think is pretty cool. Because I think the worker system needs to be worked on a bit. They show, you know, new updates to hunting and whatnot. And then that is basically the end of the video. I hope this did help you guys get a better idea of Land of the Mourning Light. Obviously, there's still a lot we don't know because it is a while away. And when it gets closer to the release, they will obviously have a bunch of new info, which I will be making videos on when it does release. But if you guys did like this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.